Oh, hello. Are we going back to the fucking modern times now? Layla? The part that everybody really, really enjoys and is glad that still exists. I don't even know if this is Layla. I just remember Layla was the one we were playing as in the modern day last time, but I honestly can't tell you what she looks like. That's the Immortality Staff, right? That we got off Cassandra at the end of Odyssey. So I guess this is Layla.
At the University of Cambridge, Dr. Sirka told a worried audience that scientists have few answers for them.
Since the mass coronal ejection of 2012, the strength of the Earth's magnetic field has increased by a factor of 50,000. This has resulted in huge disturbances in radio and satellite communications, dangerous bands of radiation around the poles, and as we can all see from our window, an aurora borealis that never burns away. Unfortunately, we are stumped as to why this is happening, and if we cannot find an answer soon, it may change the way we live, the way we communicate, even the way we evolve, forever.
Dr. Sirka went on to say,
"Bought you more electrolytes? Oh, new and improved citrus flavor."
Ooh.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, it is Layla. Right, okay. Genuinely cannot remember her face from the previous game. Spent like all of 20 minutes with her or something, and most of that time was reading emails.
How are you the key to everything?
Oh, is this Eivor's body? Eivor's corpse? Skeleton?
You're a long way from home, Eivor.
Damn. Well, that puts a downer on things, doesn't it? Like, obviously everyone who you play as in Assassin's Creed is dead by the modern day. Well, except for Cassandra. But still. Kind of blows, doesn't it? To see your dead body. What are we doing?
Oh, mint tea is not actually tea, Bex. It's an infusion. It's really just dirty, minty water.
I don't care what you call it, Sean. Did you buy any?
Of course I did, love.
Hey, sorry about pulling you out. The generator was sputtering.
That's fine. I needed air.
How is the Animus data stream? Comfortable?
Felt pretty stable after a while.
Good. Just give me a sec and you can jump back in.
Another satellite came down. Did you see?
I did. One of Abstergo's.
That's good.
Well, most of North America just lost its GPS service, so depends what you mean by good, really.
Right. Even when we win, we lose.
Okay, we're all set. Whenever you're ready, you can jump back in.
Okay, well, let's have a look around here first.
Please enjoy your stay. Remember, all the garbage must be packed out, and please water the plants once a day. Yeah, I won't remember that. You gonna put this in the fridge, Sean?
Of course. In half a minute.
Remember, tomatoes go on the counter, not the fridge.
Hello, Layla.
Sean, what do you make of the grave out there?
Well, it overturns a few hundred years of scholarship about the first Europeans to set foot in North America. Apart from that, it's just a bunch of muddy bones, isn't it?
Can we talk about this thing on my neck for a second?
Ah, the mood stabilizer. Yes.
It's not harmful, is it? I mean, I feel good, but I want to make sure there's no side effects.
There shouldn't be. It's only blocking outside signals, a passive effect. So the staff doesn't, you know, mess with you.
Sean, what happened last year, I had no control over that. I tried to resist.
What
I
happened?
understand. And your old team, maybe they don't. But we've seen that sort of thing before. Still, if you want to work with us and get to the bottom of why the world is about to end for the second time in 8 years, then you wear that thing until we say otherwise. William's orders.
I know. It's not a problem.
It's just a few more weeks, yeah? Just until we figure this out.
You're right. I know you're right.
I don't think that happened in Odyssey, right? I don't think we know what's happened. Unless it was a DLC thing, because there were a couple of expansion packs for Odyssey, which I didn't play. So maybe there was more future stuff there. But the last time I saw Layla in Odyssey was, I'm pretty sure, taking the staff from Cassandra in the current and present day. And then nothing after that.
Sean has been busy.
An audio fragment sent from an unknown location to our encrypted servers. Nothing was stolen, nothing corrupted, just a quick deposit and gone. We got lucky this time. So what is it? A cryptic sound file, voice unknown, with a signal beneath it. The signal was a code. Led us to a precise spot here in New England. We dug, and good lord, we struck gold. Well, silver, dominant currency in the Dark Ages. Point is, it was a gravesite. A Norse warrior dating to the late 9th century, early 10th century AD. A few centuries before the earliest known settlements. This is big news if we have it right. Questions remain. How did these bones get here? And why? So someone specifically led them to Eivor's body, and they don't know who.
You mind if I put some music on? Go for it. Cool.
Banging tunes, yo.
That's quite nice. Soothing. Let's have a look.
Oh boy, is it email time? Oh, wonderful. From Remy Hassan to Layla Hassan. I don't have COVID, no. Oh wow, okay. We're doing that, are we? And I'm well isolated. It's just the three of us travelling together, staying out of sight. Thanks for clearing that up in such profound detail. I'm sure I'll sleep soundly now. I don't like the sound of any of this, Layla, and I don't like where this is leading. Not using phones is not the right way to ease my mind. You have my number, I suggest you call it. And no, I won't say hello to our parents for you, because doing so would bury me in questions I cannot answer. And to tell father you no longer work for Abstergo would break his heart. That's all he ever talks about, how his daughter is on the cutting edge of neuroscience. The man doesn't understand the first thing about what you do or did, and he's still proud. I will not be the one to disappoint him. Is it COVID? Is that why you're being cagey? Something else? Call him, call me, and stop this insane game of hide and seek. I just want to know you're safe. Oh, I didn't realise there was all this underneath it. Lol. So this is the original. That was his reply to this. Rami, forgive the short email. I wanted to call, but I'm not using phones right now. My time is limited. I'm still recovering from my trip. Things got out of hand, and nothing went as expected. People got hurt. I told you it was for research, and it was, but not for Abstergo. The truth is, I haven't worked for them in a few years. It's a long story, and I won't bother you with the details, but it wasn't for me. Leave it at that. The group I'm with now, I can't explain, not over email. But they've shown me things, given me opportunities, and opened my eyes to a broader view. But not without cost. In fact, I fucked up last year. Bad. More than once, and I need to make it right. I know all this sounds cryptic. It is. But I'm not in danger, not in the way you might think. If I'm being vague, it's because I need to be. I don't want any data sniffers picking up on keywords that might raise alarms. Do I sound paranoid? A little. Here's the point. Don't worry about me. I'm with a couple of people who I trust. They've been at this a lot longer than I have, and they're going to see me through this, I promise. At this time next year, things will be better. The skies will be clear, the earthquakes will stop, and we'll celebrate Ramadan together. It'll be just like the 90s all over again. Tell Mama and Baba I miss them, and that I'm doing fine. Your sis, L. Okay. From unknown sender to Layla. L, one last message, after which all communication between us via this account or any other will cease. We have our own ways of talking, methods that cannot be sniffed or traced. Your previous team made this mistake. They knew the risks, but they were sloppy. Left traces of their activity on everything, digital fingerprints everywhere. That will not happen with us. My colleagues tell me the initial meeting went well. They are impressed, if a little wary of the influence your new toy has on you. But they know better than most what it means to live with such a burden. I'm curious to know more about this heir of memories epithet. It is not a phrase we've heard in all our decades of research. In a few weeks' time, we will contact you once more. If you're interested in proceeding, follow our instructions to the letter. If you are not interested, or if you break any of our protocols, this will be the last time you hear from us. Take this to heart. The world is sick and getting sicker. The Earth's magnetic field is growing stronger, satellites are falling from the sky, earthquakes are getting more frequent, famines are becoming more and more frequent. And now we have credible reports of a new and deadly virus sweeping through Asia. It can feel like we're living through a Yeatsian nightmare. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. In many ways we are. But there is hope, there is a cure. Us. In the past few months we have come across something that may help us solve our most pressing problems. A message, a very promising message, that may help us reverse the dire course we are on. If you want to be part of the solution, join us. If not, we wish you the best of luck. Layla, I'm ready. Unknown sender, good. Unknown sender, this was, I guess, yeah, this was their first contact. Would your favourite baseball team happen to be the Atlantis Eagles? Who the fuck is this? You have a gift and a curse. The gift of old blood, the curse of not understanding it. We can help if you help us. What you did is not your fault, but you must take responsibility for it, otherwise nothing gets done. One of us will contact you. If you miss us, you miss your chance. What did she do? I wonder. If it was a DLC thing from Odyssey, then feel free to tell me. If it was not a DLC from Odyssey, then just let me discover it in this game, because I'm sure it'll be explained. But, yeah, I don't know if we're already supposed to know from the previous game. English locales of note. Layla, as you traipse about England, Bex and I thought you might want to keep your eyes open for a few things. Assassin bureaus, or the hidden ones more accurately. They operated in Roman Britain between years 100 and 430 CE. It's not clear why they left, but the final date corresponds roughly to the Roman exodus from Britain, so I imagine their leaving had something to do with the Empire's retreat. Mission accomplished or a loss of faith, not sure. But we do know that it was several hundred years before the hidden ones returned to the island. It may be Basim and Hytham are the first in half a century. From my own archives, I believe there were 6 main bureaus operating in the Roman period. Leicestershire, London, Winchester. Is that... I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. It's probably not. Because there's a lot of places here in England today that are spelt like toaster is spelt Tocester, but it's pronounced Tocester. And yeah, even right here, this is Leicester, not Leicester. It's just Leicester. So I don't know if this is Winster. Maybe it's Winster. It's probably Winster. York, Essex, and Gloucestershire. These won't be the Saxon names, so you'll have to read between the lines. Animus Anomalies. Bex noticed these, about 10, embedded in the simulation. They're dense clusters of data that may screw with your ability to navigate Eivor's memories. Approach with caution. We don't know what they'll do if you get too close. They may be harmless, they may induce occipital shock, or wipe your mind, hard to say. Best to err on the side of hell no, but if you're curious, well, I warned you. Pieces of Eden. We don't know of any Isu artifacts you should be looking for specifically, but they're out there, and this was a period where they often cropped up in legend. Norse and Saxon songs and tales will speak of them often, so keep your eyes peeled, especially around Stonehenge. How could that not be an Isu site? Session report. Subject, Sean Hastings. Operator, Rebecca. Reporter, William Miles. Do we know who William Miles is? Preface. The transformation of the Order of the Ancients into the Templars as we know them today has always been a subject of considerable debate among our ranks. We have operated with the assumption that the Templars themselves hold some or complete knowledge of this evolution, but at present no concrete historical evidence has ever made it into our hands. What little data we do have is mostly a matter of public record, with some exceptions. It is commonly understood that the origin of the Knights Templar dates back to 1119 CE, and this indeed was the appearance of the public face of the Templars. However, our records attest to the existence of Templar agents at least 2 centuries before this date. In one badly damaged document, an assassin contract from Normandy in the mid-11th century, the author makes free use of the term Templar. An earlier letter, this time from a hidden one in the region of modern-day Dorset, circa 978 CE, makes mention of a Templar spy within the ranks of the Brotherhood. From this, we can safely assume that the Templar Order, as an entity distinct from the Order of the Ancients, existed at some point in the mid-10th century. With an aim to expand our understanding of this dark age, one of our agents recently volunteered to delve into his genetic memories to search for further clues to this age-old mystery. Unfortunately, what he discovered was of little use for our purposes. Sean Hastings began the first of his 7 sessions on October 5th, 2014. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, he followed various matrilineal and patrilineal lines into the past, focusing on the 9th, 10th, and 11th centuries in search of assassins and or Templars in his bloodline. He found none. Of minor interest, however, was the following personage, here noted for the peculiarity of his biography. Alrekr Thorvaldsson, an early 9th century Jute who sailed north from modern-day Denmark with a wooden plank bearing the carving of a map that purported to mark the location of Thor's hammer. That's a fucking sentence. Alrekr made it as far as Stavanger before running afoul of a powerful clan there. Alrekr was defeated in battle and enthralled as a slave. He escaped his captivity some 10 years later and returned to Jutland to marry and settle down. The location of Alrekr's map is unknown, and the existence of Thor's hammer, a precursor relic no doubt, remains unconfirmed. Alrekr's ancestors would later sail to England following the Norman conquest of the island, settling in what is now called Loughborough in modern-day Leicestershire. The irony that a man named Hastings would contain no useful genetic memory data regarding the Norman invasion of England in 1066 was not lost on our dear subject. Still, he retained his usual chipper wit and asked if he might next relive the genetic memories of his grandfather to, quote, give a Nazi a proper bollocking. Media. Strange message.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep. And in my sleep I dream. And in my dreams I see an end to the doom that will grip the earth once again. Find the wolf-kissed. Find the mad one. Find me. And save us all from another death.
A strange message broadcast from an unknown source north of the Arctic Circle. The message was broadcast for 9 days, then ceased. Spectrum analysis of this message revealed coordinates to a Norse gravesite in New England, USA. Did that sound like Basim? That sounded like Basim to me, not gonna lie. Find the wolf kiss, that's Eivor. Find the mad one, who knows, and find me. It sounded like Basim, maybe? I don't know. For Layla.
Layla, thought you might be interested in this. Conversations that Bex and I had with Desmond back in 2012. December, I think. Just candid talks, that's all. We didn't square any circles or write any beat poetry. But he did have some interesting insights into his time in the Animus and what it means to be an assassin. Anyway, have a listen. You might find you and he had similar experiences, so, well, let me know what you think. Unless it's to tell me I sound like a total prat in these recordings. If that's the case, just say nothing. I mean, I did have a slight cold at the time I recorded these. That's probably why I sound odd. Anyway, okay, I'm done anyway, so turn off. Turn off. Oh, it's actually just a button. Sorry, here we go.
Amazing. Desmond! Well, it's been a long time since he's been relevant.
No, come on, Sean. Turn that thing off.
Oh, hold on. I like what you said there. I want to get this for posterity. Say it again, nice and loud.
Seriously?
Sure, come on. If nothing else, it'll give me leverage with your old man.
Ah, that's your angle. Nice. What I said was, I wish I hadn't been born into the Assassins. I wish I had chosen this life. Is that good enough?
Sure, but why is that?
Because choice is the central idea of our creed. It underpins everything, right? It's about free will. It's about seeing the evidence before you and saying, yes, this is what I want. Or, no, this isn't for me. But when you're born into a group like this, or any other, like I was, you get mixed signals. You get told over and over again, this is what we believe. These are the rules. This is reality. No deviation. And if you question it, oh, they look at you like you killed a puppy. That's hardly free will. It's a weird irony when free will is your central belief, but nobody wants you to believe otherwise. I don't know how to say it exactly, but I always thought there was something self-destructive about our creed. If free will is the most important moral guidepost we have, we should be free to ignore it. To choose submission, for example. You know what I mean? Like, we should be free to side with the Templars If it's really my choice, I could do that.
Right. It's almost self-refuting. A democracy could democratically elect a dictator or choose to get rid of democracy altogether. Within our creed is the seed of its own destruction. That's what makes it powerful, I think. And fragile.
Right. The more freedom you have, the more risky it is, you know? Anyway, my dad has mellowed over the years, but he was strict when we lived on the farm. He ran a tight ship. I never got the impression that I was free to choose my path forward. Our creed, our tenets, they were drilled into my head. By the time I was a teenager, I was following these rules out of a sense of duty. This was just what we did.
That happens to a lot of organizations over time. The stagnation sets in, you know? The fundamentalism.
Yeah. Following the rules becomes more important than achieving whatever goal you set out for yourself. And people start to lose sight of the reason the rules exist.
That's called deontology, or a form of it. Following a rule for its own sake and not for the consequences it has.
Yeah, but that feels backwards, doesn't it?
Well, I think so. Following a rule is the easy part. Praying, taking a sip of wine, munching on a wafer. Rituals that give comfort.
But that's just going through the motions. It makes people feel like they're doing something. When the hard work is, well, actually getting off your ass and doing something productive. I think people just want boundaries. Tight boundaries. They want to see the four walls that pen them in.
I don't disagree.
Anything outside that, anything that makes life more complex, that's scary. That's why I envy you. You chose this life. You went through that process and you decided, yes, I believe in this.
Sure. It didn't stop me from being an insufferable know-it-all as a teenager, but I see your point.
I would have loved to have been a know-it-all. I knew nothing. Not until you guys found me. Yeah. It wasn't until I met you, and Bex and Lucy, that I knew. I knew I wanted to be an assassin.
Oh, thanks, Des. Come here. Bring it in, bud. I don't normally like touching, but I'll make an exception now.
I am not hugging you.
You sure? Because I smell very nice today.
Can you just turn that off?
Alright. And then Desmond died. Feels bad.
Hold on, I'll just set this here.
Do you guys record everything we talk about?
Not everything, but you've been using the Animus so much, I thought this was a good chance to learn some things about prolonged exposure.
So I'm your guinea pig?
No, my guinea pigs are all dead. The Animus was too much for them to handle.
Cute.
Can I ask you about the bleeding effect? Any recent flashes? Any memories resurfacing?
Yeah, the usual things. Ghost images of Altair and Ezio a few times a day. Nothing intrusive, just brief moments. They pass quickly, almost without me noticing. Like a figure in the corner of my eye. Or remembering a dream from the night before. I did have one extended hallucination a few days ago. It was Ezio. He was older, around the time he left Cappadocia. He was standing on the deck of a ship, alone. And through him, I could feel an intense regret or guilt. And it felt to me like he'd had a loss of faith in himself, in the creed, like he couldn't keep it up, couldn't stay true to his ideals. And as I watched him, I thought, is this the moment he decided he was done being an assassin? It felt like it. Anyway, most of my visions have been brief, lasting just a few seconds. They're like complete memories of small moments that appear suddenly out of nowhere, fully formed. It's a strange feeling.
Okay, anything else?
I'm starting to see Connor now, too. Though I hear his voice more often than I see him. I'm sure that will change. Oh, yeah, and yesterday, just before bed, I had a memory of being on a beach in the Caribbean with a bunch of sailors. Or maybe they were pirates. I don't know. No idea.
Huh. We'll look into that. And how do you feel in general?
In general? Well, I feel older, for one. Much older. And it's strangely comforting. I'm collecting the memories and skills and thoughts of so many people. I feel like I've lived a few hundred years or more. Is it possible that if I do this for too long, it'll push my own memories aside? That I'll be everyone but myself after a while?
It's possible. That's called identity substitution. It's happened before, but it's rare. And someone with your background shouldn't need to worry.
My background? You mean someone with my genes? My abilities?
You have Isu DNA, and that lets you see things and do things and withstand traumas that other people can't.
And I can suffer in ways that others can't. That's not something to be proud of.
You mean the apple?
Yeah. It has a pull, Bex. It tugs at my brain. It talks to me. Teases me. Drives me mad. And what I did to Lucy. God damn it. Nothing is worth the damage I did. The pain I caused.
Yeah, didn't it make him stab her or something?
Special. That's the point.
I'm not special, Bex. I'm lucky. That's all.
I understand.
We're assassins. It's our creed that makes us different, not our genes, not our blood. Anyone can join us.
That's true. But let's leave that aside for a second. What I want to know is, have you ever had any Isu memories resurface?
Isu memories? I don't think so. I can't even begin to imagine what that would feel like.
I think you'd know if you did. Maybe one day, we might be able to induce something.
Jesus, let's fix the world first, okay? Before we start digging up my ancient ancestors.
Deal.
With my luck, I'll be related to some third-rate Isu like Sisyphus or something.
Way to aim high, buddy.
Hey, you gotta.
Okay. Yeah, my knowledge of the modern day stuff from the old games is like fairly shaky because obviously I only actually played 2 myself, and then I saw a couple of playthroughs of a couple of the other ones, and I just heard bits and pieces. I'm pretty sure that Desmond like stabbed Lucy. I'm not sure if he killed her. And he was like being controlled by the apple for a bit, and then he died at the end of 3, I think. Oh my goodness, there's a lot here, isn't there? Isu Messengers 1. Rebecca, before we meet at the site, I want you to see these. Last week, I reviewed the logs from my time with Bayek and came across some old notes. That's the Origins main character, right? In the years I explored Cleopatra's Egypt, I stumbled across 6 Isu temples, most of which were buried beneath pharaonic tomb sites. Each temple contained an Isu message clearly meant for one with the ability to read genetic memories. I was the lucky one. I don't believe they were intended for Bayek himself, as he seemed wholly unaware of the messages as they played. They may have been encoded in a way that only someone with an animus could see them. It's been a few years since I last heard these messages, so my memory is foggy. But the notes I scribbled down have a clarity that I trust. Might be something to all this. I don't know. Often I grasp outside my area of expertise. I'm enthusiastic, but often wrong. Let me know if something else strikes you, Layla. Message 1. Excerpt. Layers upon layers of reality, each blurring into the next. Which is real and which is not? What if none are real? What if everything you know is false? We ran thousands of simulations, searching for the right version, searching for Desmond. Each one of them felt real. But there's no way of truly knowing, is there? Not for sure. Anything can be simulated, and finding the answer could mean erasure. Teasing the assassin maxim, nothing is true. Must be careful not to confuse truths with facts, however. A language game you will always lose. Though we may stumble in our attempts to interpret it, the world, the universe, reality, what have you, it is always out there. I believe that, simulated or no. We could imagine a dozen nested simulations, and each one, on the level of itself, would constitute a full reality. Wolfram, via Conway, suggests the universe is a giant cellular automata. And further, there is a point where the difference between simulated and real is meaningless. If the universe were a simulation, what would it matter? The simulation qua simulation itself would be real, and therefore everything within it would be real within the confines of the simulation. Say a scientist were able to simulate pain by inducing only a few neurons to fire, no physical harm. I am in pain, the subject says. No, you only believe you are, says the scientist. This is meaningless, as is this. You thought you were in pain, but you were mistaken. 2. Message 2, excerpt. No surprise, you were designed to have boundaries, after all, and one cannot speak of that which one cannot conceive. The code, equations that define life. They are nestled deep within every star, and every mote of dust. Every second that passes is a word, a symbol, all part of an intricate yet simple language existing within the framework of time itself. It is the one rule which applies to us all, immutable, inescapable. We know this. Humans were the instruments of an earlier species, the Isu. Resist the temptation to say superior. Different. They were better suited to some tasks, ill-suited to others. Possessed of a mind that we cannot know. But that does not get us anywhere. What is it like to be an Isu? What is it like to be a bat? The implication that the Isu could read time is interesting, but if humans could read time, would it necessarily be in the same manner and for the same purpose? Whether constructed or evolved, or a little of both as we are, we cannot be said to have built to achieve the same ends. To have been built to achieve the same ends. A round disc on its edge is a wheel, on its side a plate. How we use something can often determine its value and its perceived purpose. 3. Break the code. Break the node. These walls tell of a tragic story. A story we transcribed on our structures, on our artifacts. A story we could not alter. A mystery, defying us in plain sight. We tried. Our scholars and scientists, poets and physicists. Bright minds, rebellious hearts. They all tried so hard to bring about change. We all failed. None could change what we discovered. The stories written into the walls of these rooms. The reader has no power. He is but an observer. But the author invents the future. The author owns the future. The Toba Catastrophe, a supervolcanic event paired with a mass coronal ejection, was the beginning of the end for the Isu. It changed the Earth's environment, lowered its available oxygen levels, and generally fucked things up. The Isu never recovered. By our estimations, the last remaining Isu died just a century after the catastrophe. From that point forward, humans, their creation, ruled the roost. This disaster was not unforeseen. Isu scientists had known about their impending doom for years, perhaps decades, before the catastrophe occurred. To protect themselves, they worked feverishly to find a solution. 6 methods they tried, but due to a toxic combination of hubris, political infighting, and bad luck, all 6 failed. The final method proved the most promising, and was nearly complete when tragedy struck. It was this method that Desmond Miles revived when he saved the world from a second solar flare in December 2012. This voice laments the compounded failure of their species to save themselves, but the truth is broader than that. They, with Desmond, saved us. Success deferred. Then this message, break the code, break the node. Insistent, and very puzzling. Was that 3? Yeah. 4. Linear continuity is a simulation that allows for variations. Within the linear continuity, there are nodes, choke points. Moments where algorithms converge the flow of superposed possibilities to a single moment where only one absolute truth is possible. Paths are fluid, continuous. Nodes are static, changeless. And the wave function collapses the paths into nodes which branch out. Again and again and again. Can you feel the wave collapsing, trying to course correct Desmond's act of defiance? The incoming node needs the world to end. The algorithms have been carving the flow of possibilities toward that end for over 100 years now. Collapse the wave. Well outside my area of expertise. Must contact someone who knows this shit better. But what it seems to be saying, the structure of space-time the universe is built in such a way that certain events or clusters of events are compelled to occur. A bottleneck through which space-time flows, and one nearly impossible to avoid. There is something about the catastrophe, the one Desmond averted in 2012, that compels it to return, indifferent to our fear or pain. It is a tidal wave rippling across the sea of space. It crashed once against the dike, and that stopped it for a time. But the sea rears back for another strike, and another, and another. That gives some clarity to what is happening now, all around us, but it remains unclear how to change it, especially from within an animus, a simulation within a simulation. So, although Desmond stopped the catastrophe in 2012, it's like time. It's like, yeah. What's the right word? It's inevitable, I guess, that the world will continue to try and end because that is what is like the destiny of the planet or something. I don't know. So like that is what is supposed to happen. So even though they stopped it once, it will continue to happen eventually. So they need a way to stop it for good. Somehow. Number 5. Reality is a mathematical model which gets solved over and over again by the observer. Your thoughts are computations, and they render this world for you to call your own. Not all processors are alike. Different brains produce different realities. The variations go from the subtle to the drastic. Your mind defines how much you can taste, how much you can feel, how much you can understand. Perception defines perspective. We designed you and made sure to engineer your senses so you could perceive just what we needed you to. Neither more nor less. There are parts of time we preferred you to remain blind to. It was a necessity. If we could suddenly see time, that would not guarantee the same perception that Isu possessed. Let us speak of time as an entity, if we may. Let us say that time is a perceivable fact, in the same way that light is a perceivable fact. The ability to see this fact in no way guarantees a sympathetic view. There are creatures stumbling around this earth that read light differently than we do, and for different purposes. Humans see in a well-known spectrum, your Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. This sense of colour is confined to the 3 cones we possess, yet nocturnal creatures see with a different scope for a different purpose. Night stalking, hunting, lurking. They evolved in concert with their needs and are now constrained by them, as we are. Light is only a fact seen askance. I don't know what that word means, I've never seen that word before. And used differently by different species. To suggest that we might read time is to imply we have a specific use for time. Last but not least, the next chapter is unstoppable, and yet the greatest revolutions sometimes originate from the confines of impossibility, do they not? Reality is a simulation. Break the code, and in so doing, escape the inescapable. The Animus was humankind's first unconscious attempt to explain what it could not see. Understanding genetic memories, an eye into history. Your Animus is different, as is the mind that imagined it. It could escape the code. It could make that leap and make possible a decision that defies the order of things that are. It is ridiculous to imagine that I could change the nature of reality out there from within the confines of an Animus, a simulation within this so-called simulation. But I believe I understand what this voice is telling me. My Animus is endowed with the ability to suggest alterations to days long past. From any moment in time, I can extrapolate what might have been. Calculations of time. I am not confined to what was, but what could have been. Yes, history is real, facts do matter. But from any moment in time, I can choose within the Animus. I can interrogate the memory. I can ask the world, what if? What if Bayek and Arya had stayed together? Bayek was the Origins protagonist. I guess Arya was his wife then or something, and they split up. I haven't played Origins, I just played Odyssey. 2 and Odyssey are the 2, but I have limited knowledge of the other ones, but yeah. What if Kemu had not been murdered? I can suggest these hypotheticals and watch how they unfold. Why would I want to? For knowledge? For a better understanding of what tragedies were avoided? It remains to be seen. I am, in a sense, a reader of the calculations, as the Isu were in days past. Perhaps one day I'll be able to harness this talent to see into the future, to predict, to correct, to avoid. That would be worth something. Hey look, it's a wormhole. A space-time wormhole. Okay, fuck, that's a lot of stuff. It's interesting though. The Staff of Eden, Staff of Hermes Trismegistus. Yes, the Immortality Staff, acquired from the Eagle Bearer Cassandra in 2018. Presumed manufacture date late in the Isu Singularity Age. 75-100 BCE, 2200 IE. This staff, one of the many Isu staves known to us, is first and foremost a medical device with the ability to heal, repair, restore, and rejuvenate organic tissues with unprecedented swiftness. It has been known to extend the life of its bearers well beyond the average human and Isu lifespans, and is presumed to have the ability to resuscitate living creatures in critical or suspended states. Yeah, because fucking Cassandra, who was, you know, a long, long time ago, and then at the end of Odyssey in modern day, we pop down to Atlantis, and there's Cassandra in modern day, still around. You're like, what? What? And then she gave us the staff and died. It has not been verified if the staff has the ability to resurrect the dead, but this seems unlikely based on its known features. What? It has the ability to... It is presumed... Wait, let me reread this. Hang on. Resuscitate living creatures in critical or suspended states. Okay. But not actually... not the actual dead. It appears to work by reading and copying its bearer's DNA to ensure perfect replication on a broad scale. It is able to detect erroneous copies and deploy repairs, so long as its bearer remains within direct contact. It has been used as a weapon, infrequently, possibly by taking advantage of the tremendous power it draws from the Isu's wireless energy lattice. The staff has also acted as a conduit, or container, for the personality of an Isu called Alethea. It is not known if this personality is Alethea's original consciousness, or the simulation of the original, though most neuroscientists would call this distinction without a difference. As of early 2019, the entity known as Alethea has made no further attempts to contact me. And yet, my purpose as the so-called heir of memories, as Alethea has dubbed me, remains unclear. Known bearers, Hermes Trismegistus, Pythagoras, and then Cassandra. Secure share, nothing in there. My stuff. Pictures. Nice, nice. Less nice. And last but not least, the trash. File corrupted. Oberg interrogation. I wonder what that is. Letter to Victoria Bebo's something. Parents? Mr. and Mrs. Bebo, my name is Layla Hassan. I was a friend and colleague of Victoria's both at Abstergo and in our subsequent freelance careers. In all the time I knew and worked with your daughter, oh no. I was always struck by her limitless intelligence, her humour, and her ability to focus even in times of great stress. She was an inspiration, not just to me, but all those who worked with her. I'm writing to you now with the hope of shedding some light on the circumstances of her death. Jesus, this is what she did. I realise it must be strange to receive a letter out of the blue from someone whose name you've probably never heard, offering to explain the tragic loss of one so dear. But if you'll allow me, I will try. I was with your daughter in the moments leading up to the unfortunate incident that took her life. In fact, I am partly to blame for... And then it stops. Huh. So... I can't actually remember if I know the name Victoria Bebo. Remind me, if she was someone that we knew from previous games, then do let me know. Or if she was a DLC thing or whatever. Because I cannot remember. It would be interesting to see if that was something they showed in the DLC or something of what she did. I would quite like to watch that. Did I read this? Yeah. Here's the staff.
I went through hell to bring you here. It had better be worth it.
I'm sure it will be, maybe.
Sean, don't forget to water the plants while I'm under, okay?
I'll add it to the calendar and tattoo it on my leg.
Feeling okay?
Better. But I'm worried that it could happen again. The 2 data streams.
I can't promise it won't. I barely understand it myself.
It felt like 2 minds, fighting over 1 brain. It hurt like a shotgun to the head.
Right. There's something about this Viking's DNA sample that feels dense, noisy.
Could it be the staff? Interfering somehow?
How do you mean?
My headaches, my temper. They started the day I got that thing.
I hope you're not making excuses for, your friend.
Jesus, no. I'm not.
Sorry. Just take it easy. And if you feel yourself slipping again, let us know.
I'm trying. I really am.
Okay.
Be nice to sleep in a real bed when this is over.
Can confirm. Nice to sleep in a real bed. Right, let me just have a quick look outside, see if I missed anything out here that I could interact with. The car, perhaps? No. Oh, yep.
I'm not going anywhere. Not yet. Probably bought this in a coffee shop somewhere in Concord.
What are the... Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Another satellite. Damn.
Huh. That was unexpected.
Someone's got mail. An invitation to a fair in Concord. Bring your best crop and you may win a prize. Tempting.
I'm guessing we can't actually go to that satellite. I'm guessing it's going to stop me somewhere here.
Layla, can't run away from this.
Yeah, it's just invisible walls around that corner. Okay. Well, anything else? Where was the grave? I forget.
Oof. I'd rather walk into town than use this.
Here's the grave. Nothing else to look at around here.
It's beautiful. But it's not normal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely not normal. Were they setting up any of this new world-ending stuff in Odyssey or Origins? Because honestly, all I remember from... The only interesting bit of the Odyssey modern-day stuff that I actually remember was the Cassandra bit at the end. All the rest of it I just remember being really seeming dull and pointless. But this is actually, like, I'm interested in what's going on here in the modern day. And I can't remember whether there just wasn't any of this in the last one and this is new, or whether there was and I just didn't find it interesting at the time, I guess.
We'd love to play around, but I have bigger things on my mind.
Cannot remember. Right, let's go down for the long nap, shall we?
All right, time to go. Norway to England takes about a week by long ship, so I'll scrub ahead. Layla, you okay?
Sorry. Can you play the message again?
We have the transcript if you're looking for something. I can go
No,
and...
I want to hear it.
Okay.
I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just... That message led us here. To this place. To a Norse grave in North America. So those bones out there are the only lead we have. Our only chance at fixing this planet before it's too late.
Here it is.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep. And in my sleep I dream. And in my dreams I see an end to the doom that will grip the earth once again. Find the wolf-kissed. Find the mad one. Find me. And save us all from another death.
It sounds like Basim to me.
Unsettling, that is.
That pulse in the message. Are you sure it's just coordinates? Nothing else?
Nothing I can find.
Okay, I'm ready.
I wonder if Sigurd
Here we
becomes the mad one, and that's why we betray him. Because he goes nutso. Look at that big man beard. Yes. God, that's pretty. 873 CE, England.
There she is, England, our new home. Not a patch on Norway, but we'll make this land our own soon enough.
I'm glad to see any land at all. I will be happy to have my feet on solid ground again.
We must not rush our landing. All you see here is Saxon territory. The Kingdom of Mercia, largely unpacified. There will be eyes watching us from the trees, with bows drawn and traps set. We must be wary. Randi! Dig in your oars! All standing!
Have you spotted something?
Not yet. But let us go ahead to clear the path of any dangers. Then follow our lead when the sun brushes the horizon.
Understood. May Thor bless you all on your way. We will see you soon.
Sail on!
Yes! I'm ready for whatever these green-thumbed fairy folk have to throw at us.
Sigurd, do the sons of Ragnar know that we're coming?
They do not, but they will not scoff at our visit. Of the 4 kingdoms in England, the sons of Ragnar have settled only one. The rest is ripe for the taking.
Do we mean to join their army?
No, no. We will speak with them, get the lay of the land, and carve this country into as many pieces as we see fit.
Look ahead there! Is that what passes for a town? Plain brick in a single rune to their timid god?
That rune is called a root, Doug. The cross upon which their god was sacrificed. It sits atop a monastery, a place of worship.
That cross killed their Christ, and now they display it in worship? Bizarre.
We carve idols of our gods and make wishes before them, like our sacrifices to Odin, the One-Eyed.
But we do not worship the wolf that kills him. That is the difference.
Whatever strangeness we see in these Saxons, they must think the same of us.
The hammer! Now there is a symbol worthy of a god. A bolt of lightning would take that cross clean off.
This is really fucking pretty. This is really fucking pretty.
Look there!
Me like it.
What are they doing?
Ritual drowning.
Baptism, Dad. Are the ways of Christians really so unfamiliar to you?
Not at all. I simply forgot. And someone has to keep the conversation up. It must be priests and worshippers alone in that place. We could storm this port with ease. Sack it without breaking a sweat.
Is there much in the way of treasure there?
Always! They shape precious metals and cut jewels to their gods. There will be a fortune there.
Later, Dad. There will be time enough for raiding once we have settled. Come to, stop the boats. Pull up over there. The way forward is blocked by a chain spanning the river. We must remove it before pressing on.
A chain? Can we cut through it?
It's too thick for access. But there must be a way to release it somewhere in that camp.
I will go.
And I will be right behind you.
No, Dad. You stay here. Should trouble come our way, I want you defending the ship.
A good idea. Send out the arrow and keep your sharpest axe at hand, huh?
Something like that.
Okay.
The matter here?
We have arrived in England and are taking our first steps onto its shores. But that is where we are going to leave it for today, I think. Seems like a good enough spot as we are just about to raid this little joint. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Very, very good. I'm looking forward to exploring this new land. Can we have a look at the map? Is it... Oh, good. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is pretty big. Wow. That whole journey, that took a while, that journey. And we went from here. Like, that's all we did. We traveled from here, along here, and ended there. And that is just that bit of this enormous fucking... Jesus Christ. Cool. Cool, cool. Suggested power for this area. Oh, wait, no. This is 55 here. This bit is 20, which is good because that's what I'm at. Although, why is this suddenly 160? This is... Oh, the bit I'm in is 160, is it? I guess. But this is 20. Lincolnshire is a small joint, I guess. What is that symbol? I have no idea. With Sigurd leading the way, the Raven clan travels upriver into the heart of England in search of the conquering sons of Ragnar Lothbrok. When did we level up? We apparently have 2 skill points. I don't remember leveling up. Well, let's get the adrenaline slot. We could head down that way. Could head down there. Adrenaline slots down that way. That could be good. Catch and throw any projectile by hitting LB just before it hits you. I'm feeling like that might be the way to go because I did look up here and there wasn't anything. Well, that could be interesting, but I'm not using arrows much. Meh. Adrenaline slot would of course be nice. Ha! Attempt an RT takedown on an unaware enemy with your melee weapon. It will alert all enemies around you, but will fill your adrenaline for every one of them. That's interesting. Gain adrenaline by looting a chest or pickpocketing. Huh? Ooh, regain the red portion of your health bar when landing successful melee hits on enemies. Now that is good. That is very, very good. I want to go towards that. Last chance healing is also very good, and that is also very good. So maybe we head over this way and around to that, and then that. I don't really care about hammers, but I guess we have to go that way. Let's do that, and then... Oh, did I already spend my other skill point? I guess I did. I guess I did. Okay. Right, now that's really where we're leaving it. Main menu, hit a fat save. Lovely jubbly. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the videos around, share the playlist around if you can. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you next time for more Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Thanks for watching. See you then.